SABC's Prime News, an update on a story that we broke earlier. 3 bodies have now been retrieved from a construction site south of Durban. This was after a collapse. Workers were killed after a wall collapsed this afternoon. 6 people have been taken to hospital. That's all we have for you right now, but we'll bring you more details as soon as they become available. We can confirm that 3 people have been killed after a collapse at a construction site in an area just south of Durban. Now moving to crime cash management solutions company Cash Connect has warned retailers and consumers about the possibility of more armed robberies over this Easter weekend. To discuss, we're joined by the CEO, Richard Phillips. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Phillips. So you're looking at what happened last year and saying we're at risk this year.
Yes, the last few years, in fact, show quite clearly the number of incidents in the March-April period is higher than any other time of the year.
So even higher than Christmas and other holidays.
Yes, in fact,
Easter
the second
is
highest.
A risk area.
Correct. So the second, not sure, not entirely sure, other than the fact that that in the December period and in the Easter period there is certainly an increase in the amount of spend. So there's a lot more cash in circulation. And cash is the primary target for most of these attacks.
Yeah.
I mean, as you've seen, we've had a proliferation of armed attacks against cash and transit trucks over the last year, which have dominated the news. But it carries over into cash crime across the entire economy. So you've got cash crime in the retail space as much as you do elsewhere. It just doesn't attract the same level of attention.
I'm interested because I never have cash on me. I go to the shops, can't get out the parking lot because I don't have cash. But you've looked at the actual percentage of people who use cash to pay for goods in stores.
Yes. So we have, according to the SABC, we have in the region of 140 billion rand in cash circulating in the country at any given time, and we know that that the consumer prefers cash. To the extent of around between 80 and 84% of all transactions in the country are still conducted with cash.
All right, and 6 malls robbed in Durban alone last year. So,
yes.
So that's a big flashpoint. Is shopping malls?
Well, yes, shopping malls. In fact, everywhere. I mean, if you look at the non-residential attacks as published by the South African Police Services for the previous year, they were averaging 57 attacks a day. I'm talking about armed robberies now, as opposed to break and entry. Over the last year, what we've seen is an increase of close on roughly 44% in attacks on the cash and transit industry, and about on average 10-12% increase on attacks in the retail space. And the point is really is that it's the same gangsters that are attacking everybody. These are organized crime syndicates. Their pursuit of cash is the most popular target, and so where cash is readily available in a retail space or on an armored truck or at an ATM, then that's where you're going to find these guys.
Cash in transit heists, 256 in 2016, more than 360 last year. So this ever increasing. When we know there's a huge risk. I mean, are you doing all you can? Why are we not wrapping them in bubble wrap? I don't know, preventing these vans from being targeted.
So I can talk about the retail space, and we have retail cash.
So you deal with cash more in the
retail
stores
space,
before it gets to the van.
That's right. And we have really high-tech solutions to remove cash from circulation within the store and create a major deterrent to armed attack, while at the same time creating efficiencies, financial efficiencies and cost savings by virtue of the automation process. So there are solutions on the market, and they're important that retailers take advantage of that, because we're certainly leading the pack worldwide, I believe, in terms of technology and process. But the other problem is that we are talking about organized crime, and we can't defend against all of this kind of level of crime. So it's organized crime of groups of up to 15 people at a time. They're fully armed, they are very dangerous and very volatile, and you can hardly expect a retailer to be able to withstand that kind of attack on a regular basis. So we're looking to the crime prevention organizations of the country to do what is necessary to identify and take these criminals out of circulation.
Because we're talking about gangs.
Yes, gangs, absolutely. The same guys that we see on the television blowing up armored trucks on the main roads on a Saturday morning are the same guys that are attacking the retailer.
How can retailers protect themselves, and whether or not they're your customers, what can retailers do? What can consumers do to protect themselves?
So there's no doubt that retailers, there are not enough retailers who have taken to automating their cash management processes, and that is a fundamental solution to it. We have statistics that show quite clearly that when an automated solution is in place, the incidence of crime reduces significantly, in other words attempts, so you're deterring the bandit in the first place. And then when an attempt is really made, the number of times that the bandits actually get their hands on the cash is less than 20%. So we know that it works, and we encourage retail to go that way.
All right, thank you for your time this evening. That was the CEO of Cash Connect, Richard Phillips. All right, and finally we have